This is my new toy. It's a 2020 CRF 250F air-cooled engine. I've been looking at these bikes probably over a year now. I've really been wanting to get a newer dirt bike. Wanted to go with Honda. That's just my preference. Nothing against any other brands, but I just prefer Honda. And I've been looking at this one online for quite some time and watching videos on YouTube and looking at it in dealerships. And finally was able to make a purchase. Now this is not a brand new bike. It looks brand new, super clean. I found it for sale. The guy had bought it back in the summer time, early summer of this year. He bought it with the intent to just get comfortable on two wheels because he eventually wanted to buy a street bike. And so he got to that point where he felt like he was ready. And so he put it up for sale and I bought it. He said he's probably got about 6 hours on it. So I figured, well, I wanted a brand new one, but then I figured, well, I probably saved around $1,000 in taxes and dealership fees. So I went ahead and bought this lightly used 2020 model. As you can see, it's super clean. It does have a couple scuff marks. You know, I guess just probably can't see it in the, yeah, you can kind of see one right there a little bit. Probably a boot or something caught that. The front of it's got a little fender rash right there. Nothing major. But everything's in good condition. Everything's tight on it. The reason I really wanted one of these bikes is I didn't want something over powerful. I'm not a racer. I'm not a jumper. I just enjoy getting out on the trails and riding. And so the way this bike is set up, that's what it's set up for. I know online a lot of people that review this bike, they review it as a beginner's bike. And I suppose, yeah, I guess you could call it that. I don't know. To me, it's not really a beginner's bike necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't put somebody on this that's never been on a dirt bike before. I mean, I guess if you're an adult and you've never been on a dirt bike before, this would be a good choice. So I suppose it could be a beginner's bike, but honestly, what little bit I have rode it, it's just a great dirt bike. Seat height's a little lower. I think it's 34.8. Now the rear shock is, I don't know if we'll be able to see it through here. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see through there, but there is a little room for adjusting up and down. And I'm 6 foot tall, so when I'm on the bike, I mean, my feet are flat on the ground. And so it's not a very tall bike, but that's the way, my understanding, the design behind it was keep it kind of low, keep the weight low. It's very manageable. I mean, it's just, honestly, if you're just looking for a good trail bike, I don't know how you're gonna beat this one. You know, now I don't think I've done to it. These are not Pro Taper bars. These are the original handlebars. I just had a set of Pro Taper bars that had this pad, and so I just put the pad on there because it didn't have one. I did put these risers on there. I do like my bars a little higher. This bike is fuel injected, which is a huge plus for me, and it's electric start. I did not want a kickstart. I know there's a lot of ideas out there or opinions about needing that kickstart for backup, and I can see that. I mean, I wouldn't complain if it had one as a backup, but I wanted fuel injection and electric start. I grew up either kick starting everything or pull starting everything, and I figured with this dirt bike, I just want to get on it, push a button, and go. So electric start there. It does have a key, and then it does have this little gas light there that will come on for as like a reserve light, so you know when to put fuel in. And then here's your kill switch, and this little light here, can't remember exactly what Honda calls that, but it's basically a sort of like a check engine light. If something goes wrong, that's supposed to come on. And then I guess you got to take it to a dealer to figure out what's going on. On this one, the gas cap, it clicks, so you don't overdo it on that. Disc brakes, front and back. It's a great dirt bike for the trails. Now, if you go on YouTube and you're watching guys taking this to the track and jumping it and then dogging it because the suspension's too soft, well, it's because it's not meant to be jumped. It's not meant to be raced. It's not a race dirt bike. It's not a jumping dirt bike. It's a trail bike. And if that's your intent, to ride trails and just enjoy getting out, you'll love this dirt bike. If you're wanting to go to the track and race it and take it off jumps, well, you're probably going to have to modify the suspension, because the stock suspension is not going to work for you. Seat's pretty comfortable. Like I said, it's a 250 cc engine. Not quite sure if it's exactly 250, but they just rounding up to that. Probably a 240 something, I suppose. But overall, it is just a fun dirt bike to ride. But if you've never been around one, if you're trying to compare it to say a 250R or 250X, don't even do it. There is no comparison power-wise between this and the 250R. The 250R, and I've never rode a 250X or the 250RX, I think they're calling it nowadays. But I would imagine, since those bikes are designed for more track racing and jumping and enduro racing, those bikes, especially the 250R, will eat this bike alive if you're trying to race it. There's no comparison, just no comparison at all. So if you're going into this bike trying to compare it against one of those, don't do it, because there is daylight and dark difference. The 250R is just so much more power, so much quicker, stands a lot taller, and so, but yeah, that's about it. Now, I guess it would have been kind of cool, and I think there is a headlight kit that you can put on these. I think the Brazilian models come with a headlight. I guess I would have thought they probably would have included that, since the intent of this bike is trail riding. But for me, I'm probably never going to be out riding after dark anyhow, so it's not that important that I have a headlight. But yeah, that's it. That's the CRF 250F, and you know, I've seen guys on YouTube that are riding this that are, you know, like myself. I said, I'm 6 feet tall, currently 228 pounds. Attempting to slim down, losing weight. I guess you could say in some ways I'm gonna kind of grow into this bike, or decrease into this bike, if you want to put it like that. But as it is right now, at my current weight, this bike pulls just fine, no problems. It goes with me. I don't feel any lag. I mean, just like I said, I've only been on it a little bit. I've only had it, not even had it a week yet. But it's, so far I'm very impressed, very happy with this dirt bike. I'll be posting some videos here, I don't know, in the next couple weeks probably, of some riding videos and talking about it as I ride it. So so stay tuned to that. Here, I'll start it up before I go. Just maybe you can hear that fuel injection starting up. Stock exhaust, pretty quiet. I have seen FMF has a real nice slip-on that you can put on there. It sounds really good. So if you're wanting a little bit more noise, that might be an option for you. For me, this is all I wanted. I don't, other than putting those risers on the handlebars, I don't foresee myself doing any other modifications to it. Just ride it as it is. Well, hopefully if you're in the market for one of these bikes, maybe this helps you make a decision. Hope you enjoyed the video.